Hey, family, what's going on? This is Doug Reed with the Let's Go Show. Once again, I'm actually thrilled. I have another dynamic guest. This young lady has a movement. This young lady speaks more in reference to her movement. This young lady is a mother. I mean, just loving, and she wants to bring her story. I have Lala. So, hey, first of all, I'll just say, hey, good morning. How you feel?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm doing well, but I mean, it's better now that I have you on the show to hear about your story. You know, if you can do just a slight introduction of yourself.
My name is Elana Governor, but you could call me Lala. I've been called that probably like my whole life, so it's a nickname. I I'm on the show today to talk about like lupus and mental health and like things that I do for self-care to like help me and to help me keep going and be productive and take care of myself, in the best way I can. So I just advocate for like, I guess, working out and meditation and praying and like going to the gym and talking about my lupus diagnosis and things that I do like to make sure I'm healthy and, diet good. So that's pretty much what
That's
I
a
got going on.
yeah, but I mean, quite honestly, that's a lot. Um,
hmm
so, what can you tell us as far as the listening audience, or even this will be on YouTube, about the educating people on lupus? What do we need to know?
So I guess like I was having symptoms like probably back in 2015. Like I worked at the hospital of Einstein and I was having issues with my legs and I was like in a lot of pain. So, I always was a person that went to the doctors and anytime I had anything wrong with me, I would go get tested, get blood work or whatever. So, I guess like it's just you have to advocate for yourself and like when you have issues with your body, like I try to talk to people and try to like figure out what was going on with me and I feel like when I got pregnant with my second child, that's when I realized like it was something going on as far as it might have been, pointing towards lupus and like after, I was able to get blood work done and go through all that and I finally was like diagnosed like so it's been about a year. So
Wow. And what was
yeah,
some,
it's been about a year, but
go ahead.
yeah. I was saying, but it's been about a year, but lupus takes a while to get diagnosed. It's like you have symptoms. Like I feel like I was having even symptoms when I was younger, like as a child, because I think I had issues with my knees, and then sometimes, with lupus, you'll have like mouth sores or something, and I didn't know if it was something I was eating or whatever, but it seemed like it shows up, but it takes a while to get, it takes a while for you to get diagnosed. So, but I feel like me having a daughter, like my second daughter, kind of like helped me, like kind of save my life because I probably wouldn't have known what was going on if I didn't do all the testing and really advocated for myself and got all the went to different doctors to get, tested for different things and all the blood work you have to get done. So yeah.
So what was some? I heard you say, the pain. I guess the pains in your joints, mouth sores. What were some of the other symptoms that you encountered?
Headaches, um, just real tiredness. Like after I gave birth to my baby, I felt like I couldn't even like get out of bed. Like it was so exhausting. Like I just couldn't. I just felt like I couldn't get through the day without being like tired. And um, I broke out. Well, during the pandemic, that was another symptom I had. I broke out in hives all over my body. I had all these itchy hives around me, and then my lip was blowing up. My lip was swell up. My eyes was swelling up, like they was like real puffy. Um, I think I might have had a sore in my nose before I was having issues with sores in my nose, and like I would have like a sore in my scalp. Um, I didn't have the part where, because sometimes with lupus your hair falls out and stuff. I didn't have that or nothing like that. But I definitely had a lot of aches and pains and a lot of tiredness and like chest pains and
Mm.
things like that. Um,
Let
And
me ask
also, I
you.
feel like yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
I would say also with like a lot of autoimmune illnesses, I guess, people don't correlate sometimes like with that, with depression and anxiety and stuff. So it was a lot of depression and anxiety from me feeling like I was going crazy. Like I was like, what's wrong with me? I'm going to the emergency room, I'm going to the hospitals, I'm going to the doctors, and they don't know what's going on with me,
Hmm.
you know?
You know what? And let me
So,
say this because I think it's something that you said. You really became a advocate for yourself. Well, first of all, you say your second daughter. What are your daughter's names?
my oldest daughter name is Monica. She'll be 12 in December, and my baby is 2 years old. Her name is Serenity. I named her after like Serenity Prayer, and Monica's named after my mom who passed away when I was 9. So
Yeah. So that I
yeah,
mean, and I love that because that's that purpose, that's that legacy that will
yeah,
continue. And even what you said was like you became an advocate for yourself because I heard you say that you went to doctors. Like it wasn't just one
hmm
one opinion that you actually took and said, okay, I'm gonna, whatever he diagnosed or she diagnosed, or I'm gonna accept it. Why did you go to multiple doctors? What was going through your mind?
um, it just seemed like I felt like I shouldn't have been in pain this long. Like with the legs, I was going to physical therapy. And I was trying to like figure out what was going on. And then I was getting shot to my knees. I was getting creams. I was getting painkillers, and none of it was like something is not right. And then my platelets, I think my platelets got lower. They might have went down when I was like 6 months pregnant, and I was getting like feeling like I was about to pass out, and I wasn't eating that much. And so it just seemed like something wasn't right. And then, I still was breaking out while I was pregnant. I was still breaking out in hives and stuff. But I was just like, and I had another thing is like I had bruises on my legs. Like they would just be I would have bruises all over my legs and stuff. And my best friend was like, you gotta take some vitamins and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. It was too many signs that was like, is something wrong with my health? Is something going on with my health? And having headaches that were like debilitating and having wrist pain and, just it seemed like everything, every part of my body was just under attack.
Hmm.
So they had to do all the testing they could do because, when you're pregnant, you get all the testing done and then you get the testing after to see what's going on with you. And it was just too much stuff going on where it was like something is not right. So,
Yeah, I mean,
and I wasn't feeling.
you wasn't feeling 100%, and you, when I've been noticed,
Mm,
you said in one of your videos that you do on Instagram, you actually say, you got to know your body. Your body actually talks to you, and it means so much
yeah.
for you to respond to what your body's saying, and then of course now, with everything that's going on in the world and the country, when we talk about, you know, healthcare, for our people. Like, we find out that
Mm-hmm.
there's not enough adequate health care. And then if we don't become advocates for ourselves, if we don't ask those extra questions, we don't get those additional tests, then we'll never know. We can't just go off one diagnosis and this, a one all thing. Like, okay, that's why, people with money and celebrities, that's why they go get an expert opinion. You became
Mm-hmm.
you became your own expert, so to say, because you didn't rely on one opinion. You didn't rely on one test because you knew your body. And
Yes.
and
Yeah.
especially for, let's even get a little deeper, especially for a young woman.
Yeah.
What would you tell young girls that are, let's say having some health issues and are trying to find out answers to what they're going through? What would you say to a young girl right now?
Um, I would say it's really hard. Like, I don't know, I felt at some point where nobody was understanding what I was going through, and I felt like, yeah, you're a black woman, and it's mostly, you don't see anybody that's your skin color that's helping and that can help you and advocate for you. You got to think about how we're treated, and even during childbirth, like it's a lot of women that dying, like Black women that are dying during childbirth, or we're telling you we're in pain and our pain is like so diminished because you look at us like we're so strong, like we can endure pain, you know, maybe more than somebody else, but I'm like, no, you need to advocate for yourself. And if you don't like the doctor you have, you need to tell them that you need another doctor. Or it was certain doctors I was like, you're not helping me, I'm not coming back. Or, I changed my rheumatologist because I felt like she was dry and cold. And I'm like, I need somebody that's gonna be on my side. And if I want testing done, they're not gonna make it hard for me and stuff like that. Because she said something, a comment like, you know, something about something being black and white, and what would you get out of knowing this diagnosis? And I'm just like, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with me. I've been sick enough, like, and you're saying that, medical is not black and white. Obviously it is. It definitely is black and white because we're treated differently. Like, what are you talking about? So I didn't
Wow.
understand certain comments that she was making, and I just was like, I'm changing my rheumatologist. So yeah, it was hard because I was crying, I was in pain, and I didn't know what was going on. Like, and I did have a physical therapist that she was trying to tell me about the importance of your brain and the way that you process pain and stuff. And it's like a mental thing, and she helped me a lot. But it was certain people I just felt like I needed more concern. I needed you to act like I was a person and not like I'm this experiment and y'all just give me pills or y'all just poke me up. And then because you can have side effects from these pills, you can have side effects from injections, you can have side effects from medical procedures. I need to be feeling like you know somebody has my back, because this is the first time I'm ever going through something like this. I just don't want to feel alone, and it would be nice if there was more Black people in the field where they help you out, like Black rheumatologists, people that help with autoimmune illnesses. It would be nice if I seen, more people of color, but it's like, it's like it's different. So I just feel like you just gotta advocate for yourself. You gotta speak up. If you feel some type of way about somebody, you can change your doctor. Um, you write down all the issues that you have on a notepad and be like, this is all the issues. I need you to explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old child. Like, what do this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean that I have? Okay, now what do I do? And I go to a lot of doctors and I have to figure out what doctors I need and what doctors is like, okay, I don't need that. So
Wow. Now,
it's just
do you keep a let's say a journal, or do you keep document? Do you record for yourself as far as whether it's the prescriptions, or is it something that you document to make sure you keep track of your self care? I mean, your self diagnosis, so to speak, as far as the doctors
um,
that you see or you talk to, or is it just basically because a lot of times people say words and they stick with us. You may be fortunate enough that
mhm.
things stick with you and you don't forget. But is any other any other thing that you are doing to kind of keep track of the documentation as far as when you do see the doctors?
Well, everything nowadays, everything is like on, the internet. And so I have like my chart and I can see what they make, like, the comments, the after study, after, summary. So I look at the comments that they say, I look at what doctor, said what, and I just, and,
Wow. Let,
I,
let me let me let me stop you because I really want you to hone in on that. You saying and basically you see all this gray on me, so I'm an old guy. So
mm-hmm,
what you said is basically you use technology. Technology
mm-hmm,
is afforded to you for you to see things electronically. Not only do
yeah,
you see those things electronically, you go back and review. You look at the diagnosis. You look at the reviews. You look at the comments.
yeah,
How important?
mm-hmm.
How important is that?
I like, so I'm just trying to figure out like what they like, what they are like saying as far as like what's going on with each doctor that I have. And so I just be trying to put everything together, and I just, and then I try to talk to them every time, and really try to, take a minute to ask them stuff so that I can figure out what I need to do for myself. So it's important to me that I know what they're saying, what, like, my weight, my blood pressure, whatever little comments, I need to know everything you're saying, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, were there
like
some
what
alarming comments in there that that you totally didn't agree with?
No, it's just like medications
Mm.
and, different things like what am I trying to do? Like, if I talk to them about my mental health, like, or if I talk to them about pain, they're writing all that down. They're writing down everything that you're saying, they're gonna write it down. So it's in your chart, it's on your record. So
And
and
that,
then,
no, I was going to say, and that's so important because we got to keep track of this because a lot of times
yes.
if you don't, I mean, because you never know what was said, um, and like you said, you were actually being diagnosed with something that you have no education on, you don't have anything with, so that expert opinion means a lot. And then, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
even going to see these doctors, they, some of the doctors don't have the empathy or the compassion to deal with a black woman. Like, and you said it,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're looking at us like we're this strong species, and we are. But right now, we'll talk about the mental health. I'm at like my weakest point right now, where I need the
Yeah.
education, I need the expert opinion for you to give me to help me in my healing. How and how
Yes.
how important does the mental health play on this diagnosis?
Um, you know how like it just felt like I just had an issue with everything that was going on with me. And I was like, well, am I making issues for myself? Am I just so, going through depression and anxiety and going and having this trauma stored in me that maybe I'm making myself sick? So you start thinking stuff like that. And I was like, no, there's something going on with you that, you know, you just feel like sometimes you losing your mind or something. Like, I'm like, why do I have to keep going to all these doctors? Like, am I making this stuff up? And you're not. You're going through something. Your body is trying to tell you something. And I don't know. It could be like you could feel like you alone because you like when somebody looks at me, they're like, "Oh, you're young. You know,
Mm.
what's wrong with you?"
Yeah, yeah,
you it's like you got all this stuff going on for you. You could do this, you could do that. It's like don't put that expectation on me. I'm just living day by day. Like I'm going through something inside of me and only I can see it. It's not something that you really can see all the time. Like so it makes you feel like you alone sometimes and you trying the best you can, and sometimes you feel like, okay, I'm doing it. And then you get over one hurdle and then there's something else going on with your health. And then it's another one. And you got to keep preparing yourself to just get stronger and stronger and stronger. And sometimes that could do a lot on you when you just have to be strong all your life. You be like, well, then can I sometimes be weak or be like fragile or vulnerable? Like you feel like you want to be that way sometimes, but it seems like you got to prepare yourself in case something turns for the worse.
yeah,
And also like it give you anxiety because if you know something is going on with your body, you feel like you in constant like a flight or fright type of mode where your body's always under attack or you always got an issue with your body. So you be feeling like, will I ever get over this?
wow,
And I
yeah,
don't know. I just yeah.
yeah. Because I'm thinking, as you're saying this, being strong and to deal with this situation, as far as your healing, trying to find out about it. But let's not forget that there's everyday life. There's
Yeah.
jobs. There's two children. Like,
Yeah.
this is on top of all that. So what were some of
Yeah.
the things, and you mentioned your physical therapist, what were some of the things that you learned how to take care of yourself in reference to self care?
Um So I really made sure like I got into therapy and really like I have like a good therapist. So I just talked to her about everything. And I also feel like, just well, I need to get back into this, but writing is probably a good thing, for me, like to write out things that I need to talk about. And, I used to do poetry really heavy, but I think I'm gonna get back into that because I used to really write poetry a lot. But I think doing stuff like that and I started when I went to the chiropractor, they had like little treadmills and little bikes. So I started doing stuff with that. And then I'll try to go back into the gym because we got the YMCA membership for the kids and me. So I start going to the gym. And if I don't go to the gym, I'm at home trying to work out and stuff because I realize like movement keeps you like feeling good. Like it release like stress and all that build up, you know, tension that you got in your body. Also, I think I've been trying to eat good, but I had my moments, but diet plays a role and stuff. And also it's also the right type of people around you. Like I think
Ooh.
I cut off certain people that I'm not supposed to be around that trigger me and that I know I'm gonna act a certain way and we both are not on the same healing plane.
All right,
And I feel like I'm
let
trying
me
to,
stop you. Let me stop you because,
yeah,
and the reason why I stop you because I want you to repeat that and just go a little slower because I want you, I want you to really repeat that
yeah,
because I want that to sink in with people or anybody that's listening. It doesn't have to, because it plays a major part. Like, that's why I push the Let's Go show. It's all about the positivity. It's all about the hurdles and things that people been through to get through it. So if
mhm.
you could say that one more time about changing your circle.
Um, it's like you have to, I guess you got to cultivate your own circle that loves you and supports you and that knows you and that cares for you and that's gonna that are supporting your growth. You don't want to be with somebody or be around people that are like holding you back and that don't understand your vision or understand your trials and tribulations or they're, playing on your insecurities or your past or making you feel less than. Like you got to be around people that see where you came from and see your growth and they're like, I love it. I love it. You're amazing. You're doing it. Keep going. Like, so and also loving people from a distance because it's people that I probably love, but I gotta love them from a distance. Like that could be family, that could be friends. I know I might get triggered by being around them, so I gotta keep a distance from them. There's no point in me arguing with you and telling you how I want you to act and how I want you to treat me and be defensive. I don't have to be around nobody I gotta feel defensive around. So I'd rather be around people that love me and support my growth.
Oh, nice. And I heard you
So
talk about your writing and poetry. And I I'll admit I dab a little bit. I haven't dabbed. But what did that feeling bring you in your writing and the poetry? How did that make you feel?
It felt like I was like being very vulnerable. I was expressing myself. It felt real raw.
So tell me, like, what did the poetry and the writing do for you?
Um, like I feel like writing like poetry or just like writing anything like goals or like things that you're trying to manifest and you're praying on, like it helps a lot. Um and like being vulnerable and telling your story and expressing how you feel, it's like a real like liberating feeling I stopped it because sometimes it could get emotional because of how much you write things down, you see how much trauma you went through and you be like, how did I get through all this? So it gets like you get real emotional about it. And but I think I'm gonna get back into it
Yeah.
because I think, people need to like hear me and listen to my story and, and
You told me that um, you do a lot of. I mean, you haven't done writing in a while, and you love poetry. It's a way to express yourself. So
hmm
I do have a question because I did find a piece that you did on Instagram, and
yeah.
and maybe you can tell me. So it says, "I always belonged to me before I was anybody else. Little pieces of me got lost along the way. Gave them
hmm
away to people that had no need for them. On the way of getting all those pieces back." What does that mean?
Okay, so, I guess in life my issue probably is allowing people, places, and things to like determine my like worth or my like moods or how I feel about myself sometimes, and like allowing them to take that energy from me, like my good energy, like genuine, energy and the goodness of me. Like I allowed certain people that didn't need to be around me uh to like, they people could be like energy vampires where they suck the goodness in your energy away, and you feel like sometimes you want to save that person or you want to be around people to try to help them, and you have to like first you got to heal and save yourself. So, and just your brokenness and like going through things, you like you probably don't know your worth, and you deal with certain people that don't see your worth, so they want to drag you to their level, or they don't want to heal with you or be like, we can't elevate like this, we can't be this way. So it's just like different, like just being scattered around where you are, like it could be family, it could be friends, it could be like relationships where you're getting less than what you deserve, and people could take pieces of you with them, and you're like they're living their life, but you're still mentally stuck with that because it's like you feel like you're just keep reliving all the things that happen to you. But it's better and it's more empowering when you like you take those pieces from you and you reclaim everything and you heal from it. You forgive the person. You be like, I forgive you. I don't have to be around you. I'm not going to harbor hate and like and be like just holding that unforgiveness, because I learned like in life sometimes like some of this trauma that we have is generational trauma, like passed from our parents, then their parents, and it's passed down. And I wanted to be the person to stop it. So I don't want to like pass generational trauma to my daughter because I didn't get help, or like I'm just bitter and angry and it gets passed down. So I realized like I had to start healing myself, and I can't blame everybody for some situations where you allowed and certain situations where you stayed longer than where you need to. So it was just, yeah, that's what it pretty much was. So
Yeah, because I
yeah.
mean I know that um, self care. We talk about um, loving yourself.
hmm
Like in reality, that comes from being selfish. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you have to be selfish because, like you said, you got to take care of you. You know,
hmm
who knows a better version of you than you? As
Yeah.
far as what you need, and even you talk about the positivity, being in positive circles and communities. I was always taught you can't be the smartest person in the room, not in your own circle.
No.
You know what I mean? So you have to always there's always room for improvement. There's always,
Yes.
I believe in it. I believe in teachable moments. Like everything's a teachable moment. Everything that we go through. And then, you got two young daughters, and what you want, like you said, you want to break that generational trauma. You don't want them to
Yes.
actually have to encounter or be accept some of those things that, our families, generations and generations and generations that we've been through.
hmm
And I also heard
Yes.
now how I heard you talk about prayer. How important is prayer for you?
Prayer is like the top of my list. Like, I actually was praying with my daughter last night and I broke down in tears because you just, it's certain situations where I don't know how I got through things, and I feel like God saved me through everything. Like, and I might not have everything that I want materialistic wise, or I might not be where I want to be, but I know that God always makes sure he has me, like, and he takes care of me and my children, and he protects me. Like, I could not be here. I could be not. It's times where I didn't think I could make it, and I was at the end, I said, no, like I could cry, I could break down, I'm a vent to God, and He's helped me. So, and every time I turn around and I ask for something that I really need to help me, it help it. I get it, and then you also get life lessons, like just from, I know all the things that I go through, like even the most painful things, I learn from them. I learn from it. And now I know I'm like getting better. Like I'm improving myself. I'm working on myself. I'm advocating for changing yourself. Like, don't just stay the same. Don't just be stuck, stagnant. So regardless of, like, oh, I might not have everything that looks glamorous and all that, but I do have like my soul, my spirit, my
Ooh.
mind, so that's more important than a lot of things on this earth. So yeah, so I was praying with my daughter last night because I said, we used to pray, sit down on the ground and pray all the time. I said we need to start doing this. So she
Yeah.
prayed with me and I prayed with her. So
I mean, and see, one of the things I became an advocate for is mental wellness.
yes.
I'm a big advocate around the 8 dimensions of wellness, and one part of that is our spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to know that there's a higher being, like God created this earth. I mean, one of the things
Yes.
that always for me, especially in the fall, I have a tendency just to watch the sun go down and watch the sun go up. I watch the
Yes.
change of the color of the skies, and I'm like, yo, I just came off vacation and still doing it, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking like, I'm 9 hours away from home, but yet the view is the same.
Yes.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I'm thinking about the sun, like this radiant thing, this heat. Like, how many times we say, "Yo, it's hot outside," but
Mm-hmm.
in reality, if we were even closer to the sun, we wouldn't, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
That's the creator of the earth. So a spiritual balance is very important. And then for your, and people got to get this that's listening to it. Now you say you got a daughter, you had the opportunity not only to pray for your daughter and with your daughter, but you also taught your daughter how to pray. like
Yes.
like that
Yeah. I was
like
proud
that's
of her yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's amazing because that's a big part of it. This healing process, no matter what we face with, as far as the, let's say lupus or I heard you talk about the rheumatologist. I say rheumatologist because of my rheumatoid arthritis. Like I get it, and it's like
Yeah.
Lord, I'm taking the medications, but honestly, you are the healer. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and I expect for everything that you've given me, the blessings that you've given me, that you've given to these doctors that I see to make
Yes.
sure they prescribe or give the right diagnosis for my pain.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
These things are happening every day in the earth. So, I thank God for him to give them the ability, give them the education. And, we talk about going to these doctors and being treated fairly, not the fact
Yeah.
that I'm black or white. Just treat me just like, the old saying, treat people like you would want to be treated. So
Yes.
I commend you on everything that you're doing, even with your daughters, your family, and your self-care, and we going to say that you've been healed. You know what I mean? And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that we believe in is putting that out in the atmosphere. So what's next for you? Even as we do this little interview, but what's actually next for you?
So I'm just trying to like keep positive, and I want to just like, do more posting about lupus and maybe more things about mental health and like suicide awareness and just continue my healthy journey, try to eat as good as I can. Talk about like, just healing and being a mom and how that looks, and get back into poetry. I'm doing modeling again, so I'm hoping like I can do that in a way that aligns with my values, where I'm not doing anything that I'm not supposed to do regarding that. Yeah, I'm just putting out into the universe, putting out to God, like, just help me, God, with whatever I need, and hopefully like I'll have different avenues of ways that I can make income and with things that I like to do. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm like working on now.
Well,
Um,
let me ask you. So, um, how do we find you on social media?
um, I'm on I'm on Instagram. Um, it's underscore lovely underscore la la land. Because that's my nickname. I guess Lala. So, and it's like La La Land because I'm always in my thoughts and always thinking about things. So that's why they like La La.
Well, I mean, okay, but
Um,
I heard you talk about the La La Land or whatever, but let's not forget, and I'll speak this. Let's not forget you have lovely because you are a beautiful and lovely black woman. So
yes, right, right. That's my,
let's
yeah,
so I need you to brag on yourself. You know what I mean?
right.
Because
That's, yeah,
and that goes towards your modeling career, the beauty, the fashion. That goes towards that. So
yeah.
I got one thing I'm gonna hit you with. So I want you to be prepared for this.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you for words of wisdom before we end this show. What would be some?
Words of wisdom.
Yeah, and I want you to think about it for a minute. I know you got it because you're right. You,
Right,
so
right.
I know you got it. I just got to get it at you. So, what are your words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. Um, I feel like I don't think there's no. Whew, I'm about to get it. Hold on.
It's
I
okay.
think there's no age limit to like changing your life and changing your life around, and being the best version of yourself, and taking whatever things that you don't like about yourself and making it into better versions of yourself, like killing off like when you cutting off like dead ends of your hair, you cutting off the old version of yourself and growing into that new person that you want. And it might be like painful, and it might be like hurtful, and it might trigger you, but you gotta keep pushing through. Like, it might be like an ache in your heart that you so used to holding on to just the old ways, but you gotta push through. And there's no limit to who you could become when you put positivity into the world, and you know, put that energy out into the world. It always comes back to you, no matter how much things you've been through. You could always become the best version of yourself. So like,
Wow.
there's hope for anybody. So
Wow. And what they do, that don't they snap it up when you get in those audiences? Definitely got to snap it up. And then I mean the part that just got me though, you said it's like your hair
yeah.
where you cut off the dead ends
Mm-hmm.
and you let the new growth come in.
Yes. Yep.
Ooh, that sounds like a
Yep.
wise philosopher to me.
Yeah, that's why I said you can't doubt yourself. You got to put that energy into yourself, because if you used to that type of energy, you be like, "Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm nervous." But you don't understand like who's listening to you, who's feeling inspired. Like, you can't be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be timid." No, no, no. God is making me feel like I got to talk. I got to say what I got to say so somebody can listen to me. And it might be scary, but it's like, I'm not the one talking. It's God talking. He telling me, you gotta say this. You gotta say this. I know you feel like you're not qualified, but I'm qualifying you. Even when you feel like you not at the top of the line, I'm gonna make you top of the line. I'm gonna put you in the front. You think you all the way in the back, you 100. I'm putting you at 1. So
Ooh,
that's what I feel like.
come on now. I didn't know you was gonna start preaching on me. No, Lala, I really
Yeah.
thank you for taking the time out to come on the Let's Go show. Really appreciate you. I know good things, or I mean, we'll definitely stay in contact and keep me abreast of everything that you're doing. So proud of you, sis, and your
Thank
advocacy,
you.
your self-care, being the mother that you are for your beautiful daughters. Like, I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. This was my first podcast. I hope I did well. I was a little nervous, but
Yeah, it
I
comes
think I
out.
did.
Yeah, it comes out. So this has been the Let's Go show with Doug Reed, featuring Lala. And you know what I say? Let's go, baby. Peace. I'm out.
Peace.